KVNU Game Day continues with Aggie Call. Your chance to talk about today's game. Sponsored by Alpine Home Medical, Advanced Heating and Air Conditioning, Les Olson Company, Jarek's Fine Jewelry, My Mattress, Elements Restaurant, Cache Valley Bank, Castelite, Daryl's Appliance, Advanced Fireplace and Stove, Cache Valley Ear, Nose and Throat, White Pine Funeral Home, S.E. Needham Jewelers, and LSS Insurance. KVNU Game Day with Al Lewis and John Russell.
Well, it was at Viejas Arena. Need we say more? The Aggies have never won there. They haven't won yet there. Utah State, again, not a bad performance for about the first 12 minutes of the game. Actually had a 3-point lead at about the 8-minute mark of the first half. And San Diego State won on a 12-0 run and never looked back in the rearview mirror. I think the closest the Aggies got after being down 8 at the half, they were down 6 early in the second half, and then the Aztecs got another run and eventually led by as many as 22, and they don't win the game by much fewer than 22. The win is 75-56 over the Aggies, so a 19-point victory for San Diego State here tonight. And, John, you could tell, San Diego State came out with a little vengeance. Keyshawn Johnson was the guy who talked about it here, that, hey, we're going to remember this when they come back to town. And right off the bat, they got a couple offensive rebounds, baskets against the Aggies, which they got 0 here. But, it was at the time of the game when the Aggies looked like they were kind of playing well, and all of a sudden they went in one of those turnover bunches. I think they had 4 turnovers over about a 2.5, 3-minute period, and they went 4 minutes without scoring, and San Diego State went by them, and the Aggies never looked back.
Yeah, never had a chance after that. San Diego State doing what they do best, playing that lockdown defense, and like you said, Aggies handled it well for the first half, and seemed like they were going to be ready to go, but this is a team you can't turn the ball over because they will take advantage of it, and all of a sudden you go from, where you're 2 up or the game's even to be down by 10, and that's what happened.
And again, the Aggies did get Bean with 18 points and 8 rebounds at the end of the night. He scored the last basket of the game to get to that. Horvath had 10. There were stretches again where, Horvath, you could tell San Diego State made a real special effort not to let him have 29 like he did in the last game. But, Bairstow started off the game and just was great early. He had 6 points. I think he had 3 in a row in the second half when the game was already decided. We don't hardly get anything off the bench. They get 27 bench points, and the Aggies get 9. San Diego State's, if they score 65 points, the stat now for them, John, if they score 65 points, they have won 30 consecutive games. Just scoring 65. They just know they're going to clamp down on you, and they do.
And they get on a run. Equally important was there was that confidence. All of a sudden, the rim was now 10 feet wide, and it seemed like they had no pressure. A great example is it comes down to the end of the game, and they're just swinging it around, and they hit a three-pointer. They waved it off. You and I both thought it might have been good. But that's the way. There's that confidence, the calm. That's how you beat San Diego State. You get them out of their comfort zone. And the last 30 minutes, Aggies couldn't do it.
Coach Dutcher said we can't let them have 10 threes again like they did in Logan. The Aggies had 10 up here. They had 5. The Aggies only shot 40%, shot horrible in the second half at 35% after shooting decent first half. San Diego State shoots 52%. This is not a great shooting team, and the Aggies let them do that. And again, Bradley is one of those guys like Cambridge. He's like Hamilton. They can rise and shoot with great defense on them, and we don't have a guy like that can do that.
Well, they're special players, and they're the kind of guys that we haven't had for a while. You have to go back to Sam. But even Sam wasn't that big and physical like these guys were. He's 6'5". He's a big guy. But
Sam could get, Sam got off the shots again eventually, where I think he learned how to do that and all. But again, these are explosive, athletic type guys that and then you can't crowd them too much because they go right by you.
They're that next level athleticism. It's not only are they quick, not only can they get up, but they're big, they're strong, and they can do it. And that's who we've had struggles with tonight. But Bradley, good ball game. He did what he needed to do for him. but you had other guys that contributed, and that was the killer.
Johnson in the second half, the guy who said, we'll remember it, he had 2 fouls early, didn't play again in the first half, but boy, was he a monster in the second half. He had 2 spectacular dunks.
Yeah.
He is really, really athletic. And Seiko in the first half helped him with the threes when they were struggling kind of early in the game. He made a couple of threes early for him. And I thought a rope
in the second half
was energetic.
Was great.
He even first half kind of came in and helped him. So that's a big win for them because they stay with just 3 losses. Wyoming got their second loss tonight. They go in the top 25, and they lose to New Mexico by 9 points, I think it was.
Yeah, and that one
75-66.
Down in that one was in Albuquerque.
Jalen House scored 34 points for New Mexico. The next home game for the Aggies against them, look out.
Yeah.
They can score.
That's the thing. You have to be careful with what's going on now. There's no team that you can look at and say, okay, we can take a breather against
and there never
that.
has been.
No, there hasn't been. And we run into it, and even tonight at halftime, San Jose State's up on Nevada, 43-39. So, and that game's in Reno. So you just, the Aggies are in for a tough stretch here. They have to go to Boise State, and that's going to be a battle.
Yep. So the longest win streak in the conference right now is Colorado State at 4, San Diego State at 4, and New Mexico at 3. That's it. Yeah. Remember when we had our 5-game win streak? Now we're back to another 3-game losing streak, and you got Boise, you got New Mexico, you got Colorado State. It's an interesting year.
Stretch, yeah.
753 KVNU, or our text line is 339-0321 if you want to join in and text with us or talk to us tonight. As, again, it's a 19-point loss, matches the worst of the season against Iowa. The Aggies lost by 19 in that one, and they were down again late by 22 to lose 75-56. Game day continues on KVNU.
Steven, stop dragging your feet. Don't you give me that look. You've had a bad attitude all day. Now, look, I know you'd rather be with your friends right now, but this has to be done, and either you start cooperating or I'm going to start taking things away from you. And I think you know what that means, don't you, Steven?
Yes, honey, I do.
All right.
Okay.
Watch it.
Bigger isn't always better. At Cast-A-Lite, you'll choose from a huge selection of pavers and receive help from experts. You'll see just how easy it is to do it yourself. For brick, block, rock, paver, and tile, go where the pros go. Online at castalite.com.
Hey everyone, this is Ryan at My Mattress. I've been doing mattresses for about 24 years, and I remember a long time ago, one of the vendors came out with a tagline and it said, "Better sleep through science." I loved that idea, so I watched all these vendors. 2 of them did it, IntelliBed and Tempur-Pedic. We went after them hard. They're both in our store. IntelliBed, it's gentle to the hip and shoulder, but lifts the lower back. Tempur-Pedic lets you conform into the bed. Better sleep through science, IntelliBed and Tempur-Pedic, only at My Mattress.
Cache Valley Bank's newest branch is now open in Preston. I'm Lance Zollinger, and I'm excited to announce Cache Valley Bank is now open inside Stokes Marketplace. If you're an existing customer, you'll love the convenience. If you're not a customer, we'd love to have you open a new account with us, or even talk with us about a loan for your farm or business. Cache Valley Bank, a community bank where decisions are still made locally, now open in Preston. Cache Valley Bank, member FDIC.
Getting engaged? For more than a century, S.C. Needham Jewelers has been selling diamond engagement rings. For 5 generations, we've been selling natural diamonds. Now making history, we're excited to introduce lab-grown diamonds to our selection. These are beautifully cut diamonds and are man-made. They do save you money. Come examine these new diamonds, then select the perfect ring. You'll get S.C. Needham quality at internet pricing. Open 10 to 7. Where Utah gets engaged. S.C. Needham Jewelers, middle of the block at the sign of the clock.
KVNU Game Day continues with Aggie Call. More analysis about today's game and your chance to talk about it. Call 753-KVNU or 800-369-KVNU.
Well, it's second game in a row that's not a close game for the Aggies' loss. Again, other conference games have all been that. You know, up until we lost to Nevada, the teams that had the biggest winning percentage, or as far as margin of points for, points against in the conference, were us and San Diego State. Yeah. Because when we'd won big. When we'd lost close, is kind of what had happened to those two teams. And now, of course, suddenly the Aggies, that, you know, I'm just, the whole deal when the guys got a little bit sick on this team the last little bit and they lose the overtime game to Wyoming, which we had chances to win, that I hope hasn't changed this season, that game.
Well, it's tough mentally to be in a situation like that where, you're in the games, you're playing well. But, yeah, the last couple of games are a little more concerning because the Aggies really have not, they've not done what they want to do. And I guess expanding on that, a lot of times you get into a game, you're able to do what you want to do, but you struggle with the other team doing what they want to do. In this game, there were things that were just not normal. There was a backdoor late in the second half. Justin Bean dribbles it off his leg. You don't see that. People making bad passes, people making, there were a couple of times Ashworth and Jones, you just saw they made a pass and you're looking at them going, that's not what you do. And that's what I'm worried about. We're starting to fall into that mentality.
Tonight I felt that I felt looking at them that there was more of maybe an effort level thing that I questioned a little bit against Nevada. And like I said, I thought maybe they just finally hit a wall a little bit with everything, and maybe they could refresh. And the way they started this game, I thought, okay, we'll get back and maybe we'll play this one to the end, and we might lose, but again, we'll at least be competitive. And then all of a sudden, it gets out to we get it to 46-40 on a Horvath drive. There with about 16 minutes to play. Butler then drives on a transition basket. And we do get beat on an inbounds play to make it back to 6 again at 48-46. But then they take 9 straight points on us, and we get a timeout Aggies and a media timeout in that whole period of time. And then we come back, and that's where Bairstow got his 3 points in the second half. But around that, they take it from I'm looking at this. They take it 16 points, and we had 5 during that period of time in the second half after we had the 12-0 first half. That's kind of what we were doing a little bit at times. We did, 13-2 started the first half, second half, 13-2 finish against these guys at home to win the game. And we couldn't make stops in this game. I didn't feel like defensively we were making any stops. And so as a result, we have to score every single time. Yeah. And we're not doing that as we shoot 30-some-odd% in the second half. They're shooting close to 50 in the first half.
Yeah, you made a great point earlier, talking about, this is a basketball team that struggled against those special players, like you said.
The stars, I talked about it before the game.
The
stars have beaten us, and when game was on, Bradley kind of put this game away too.
But you know what? As well as he played, and I'm not going to discount what he said, there were a lot of open shots tonight. And that's the other thing that's frustrating. You look at them, they shot 50% from beyond the arc tonight. Any team will take that. That's is about as good as you're going to get. But there were open shots. It's not a matter of they were nailing them. Sometimes you get out there and you're just on fire and you're putting up shots and you could have 2 guys on you, 4 hands in your face, and you're still nailing it. Tonight it was the defense was sloppy, and the
defense has been the key deal. Yeah. Hey, San Jose shot 50% from 3 against us. Wyoming shot some threes and then was able to shoot more than 50% both games against us. Yeah. Nevada shoots great. These guys are 33% three-point shooters.
And they shoot 50%
tonight.
You can't have that.
So,
that's really what it comes down to. And this is one of those silly comments. They made their shots, but that's the key.
And they did enough work to get their shots, and the Aggies didn't work hard enough to get in the way. Even though a couple times Shulga was right there with Bradley, and he just do a step back 3 or rise and jump over the top of him. Les Olson Company brings you our coverage of the Aggies pregame and postgame. Free network assessment is available for you with IT network security, a big deal. LesOlson.com can help you out with that. So, again, Wyoming gets in the poll for the first time in 7 years. They were in 1 week. The last time they were in the poll, guess what?
Hope they enjoyed it.
They're going to probably be in the poll 1 week. They'll play Air Force at the end of the week.
Right.
And again, the other game, so 75-66 for New Mexico tonight. You said San Jose's leading Nevada. Tomorrow night, UNLV's at Fresno State. UNLV's been playing better. They should have almost beat Boise. They didn't. And then Boise will be at Air Force before we go there on Saturday. This is not an easy stretch for Utah State to finish off the year. And we played more games than anybody in the conference. And so, we don't have many games left. So we are definitely, I think, a first-day team in the Mountain West tournament. So you're going to have to play 4 games in 4 days to even have a chance to do what you want to do.
Yeah, and that's a brutal schedule. And unfortunately, I don't want to be a kind of pessimist here, but the Aggies, in my mind, their play is starting to decline a little bit. And it goes back to, was it that big, long stretch where we had all those games in a short period of time? Is sickness starting to finally hit them? What exactly is happening? To me, there were a couple of things that were interesting. Z Hamoda, who had a great game last game, we didn't even see him hit the court.
I don't even know. I feel like I saw him practicing before they took off yesterday, so I don't think it was a sickness deal or anything. We'll just
and maybe it was. Maybe we'll find out from Coach tonight. Zapala played. We haven't seen Zapala really do anything.
Because Dorius came in and got 2 fouls so fast that's why Shimon had to be the guy to play.
But he didn't play too bad. But what does that mean for the next game? Yeah, he wasn't great, but I mean, he certainly
because here comes Armouche.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to have to be big
better
enough
use
to
all those fouls. You got 10 between those two.
You better have somebody heading there against that guy. So again, the Aggies not in a very good spot right now with the team. And again, Nevada played great. San Diego State did much better offensively, but 2 games where they shoot. They're, again, a 45% shooting team, and they shoot great against the Aggies 2 games. Wyoming shoots great in both games. It's still defense for this Aggie team some way, and they got to do it, like I said, with the coach before the game. They got to do it as a team, and there were times tonight where guys drove down the lane for dunks and had some open shots, and San Diego State found shots.
I don't remember who it was in the first half. There was one play where they kicked it down low, and it seemed like all the Aggies just kind of separated him. He just realized it might have been Johnson saying, "Hey, nobody here. I'm going to go in and throw it down." You didn't see the crispness in the offense.
No.
That you saw in the first game.
There are a lot of ball movement to get nothing done tonight. A lot of quick movement of passing and moving around to the outside. And San Diego State played that great.
Right.
They were just right there with them. So we're hoping and waiting for the coach or for players from, again, San Diego State down at the Viejas Arena. We will be right back with more of Game Day after this. Aggies lose tonight. Again, the final 75-56.
Winter is upon us, which is the best reason to have a clean and healthy home. This is Darryl with ChemDry of Northern Utah. Let us come and make your carpets, rugs, and upholstery and hardwood as clean as it can be. Platinum certified with the Carpet and Rug Institute and Indoor Air Quality Association. ChemDry's hot carbonation and quick dry times will leave your homes healthy and ready to combat the cold and flu season. We're a company that you can trust. Call ChemDry of Northern Utah.
ChemDry of Northern Utah. ChemDry of Northern Utah. 435-752-6100.
The new year isn't the only thing we're celebrating here at Alpine Home Medical. This year marks our 25th anniversary, and we couldn't be happier.
It's KVNU Game Day with Al Lewis and John Russell.
Looks like we're getting, again, the setup from down at San Diego. That's why I pulled out of the commercial break there. We'll get back to those sponsors in just a moment or two. But again, the final 75-56, Utah State, again, now is on the season with the loss 15-12. And the Aggies dropped to 6-8 in conference play. San Diego State is now 16-6, and they are 8-3 in conference play. Right now, Kyle's saying something. Kyle caught him down in San Diego is talking to the media, but we can't tell what he's saying because we're here on the air. And it's almost like he's looking at a clock or saying something. They only have a certain amount of time or something. So I don't know if maybe they'll just get some statements or whatever, and then just go that way. It might be. So again, we're waiting to see what might end up happening here after the game to see if a player or coach joins. But at this particular point, so far nobody has. And again, the meeting has just been ended by the host. Maybe there's no meeting because you know what? Maybe he was telling us that that maybe they have no time because they have to catch. I know they're trying to get to a charter plane, and maybe they have to get out of San Diego at a certain amount of time. That's always been a big deal in San Diego, that there's a certain time of the night that you have to get out of San Diego before they close their airport.
Yeah, they have a very
because it's downtown
short window. And so, they want you out pretty quick.
And all of a sudden, he's turned it off and stopped the meeting. So I think what he's telling them is that we won't get a link on this thing tonight. So maybe we won't get a chance to. So John, that probably means it's your show, it's everybody else's show. Texting, phone calls. Aggies lose by 19, worst conference loss. Back-to-back, their 2 worst games in conference play. Again, a good San Diego State team, though, that looks, every time I watch them play, they're getting better offensively. And Bradley's not just the guy. They seem to be getting more. They shot 64% against Air Force. So they've had 2 good games in a row offensively. And now, again, they really got the Aggies tonight. So what do we got as far as what people are talking about?
They're a team, they get better and better as the season wears on. Kind of a common theme to start off here. This came from 1790. I guess that blast of scoring that Hamoda gave us when he got some real minutes was inappropriate. We'd rather get guaranteed no scoring from Jones. Hamoda will transfer, and I don't blame him. So, the feeling there, this came
I
from
have no idea what happened with C in this game, because it sure looked like he was practicing like everybody else was in that period of time.
From 2070, we do have a guy like that you were talking about, meaning the long athletic, but we don't let Hamoda play.
Okay.
So there's
but he's not
there.
the thick. And
No.
I'll tell you what, Johnson, and you even look at those guards, Butler, Seiko, Bradley, they got some bulk on them that are hard to defend for Ashworth and Jones and, and even Bairstow in some ways too.
And, but the thing is, I'm not giving up on this season. This team's shown that they can win. But you know what? Why not give Hamoda some more time on the floor? Let's see what he can do.
In a game like this, there had to be a reason. There had to be some
otherwise,
other.
You don't know why.
Because in a 19-point game with a game over, you'd got to think that he's in, unless he did something that they're not happy about.
But, Al, I got to admit, I'm getting very frustrated with the fact that people aren't taking shots that I'd like to see. You look on the score, on the box score tonight, Shoga puts up 1 shot. I'd like to see him more aggressive. Jones only 4 shots, and one of them was that 3 he hit at the set. I looked at you, I'm like, where is that thing been?
Right at the end of the game,
a great shot by him.
He came in and got a drive for a basket in the first half, and that was it.
And you talk about, Ashworth, rough night, 2 for 8. You look at Bairstow, he had that great stretch, yet he only takes 7 shots on the night. I think these are the guys, you know what you're going to get from Bean, you know what you're going to get from Horvath. Those are the guys that really need to step up. And, you're not going to have Ashworth shooting like he did that other night, a few games ago where he's on fire, has a huge game. But when he's not, some of these other guys have to. Idle Rock, 7 shots. You need more out of these guys. And if they're not going to do it, let's let somebody else, give it a shot. This came from 5-6-3-4. This is the most inconsistent team I've ever watched. They better get it together, or they will be a one and done in the Mountain West Conference.
I don't know if they're the most inconsistent, but certainly it brings to mind right now. And the difference is you don't have Keita to anchor your defense, and defensively this team has been erratic. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, and offensively, they got into that one stretch where they were losing games and only shooting 19% from 3. That was the problem in a lot of ways because they were kind of hanging in those games, so they had a chance with their defense. Now, the last little while, they're not being able to defend anybody. They outscored UNLV to have a chance to win that game. They didn't really stop UNLV in a lot of ways, and they didn't stop San Jose. They had to outscore San Jose. Yeah. And then Nevada outscored them, putting the clamps on a little bit defensively, and gosh, the San Diego State obviously can put clamps on you. Well,
the big part of the problem is Horvath has been playing really well lately, and he didn't have a great game tonight either. So
he got double figures for the 8th consecutive game, but just barely.
Yeah, but he wasn't a presence. Defensively, we've seen him really step up, and tonight he really wasn't there.
Well, he's not strong enough to play Mensa.
But you've seen him play well the last couple of games. I think, he's not going to be able to body up. Nobody stopped EK.
EK had 26 tonight in their loss.
Yeah. So he's good. Another theme that's kind of come on here, this came from 6543. I question the timing of Coach in getting the technical foul.
It was a bad time. It was a 10-0 run. It made it 12-0 during the time. Yeah. And he's mad about the fact in there that, again, it seemed like there were things happening at one end of the court that were being allowed to be happening, that when we'd go to our end, that it wouldn't happen.
It wouldn't happen, yeah. This came from 5464. How is it that for years you, Stacy, Rice, Musselman, etc., can scream and throw tantrums at the refs, yet Odom has two teeth?
Coach.
I know, I don't get it. He already has 2 in his first year.
He and Mike Reed were really going at it there, too.
Yeah, refs don't cost the game, but they've been awful this year. We've had that.
Even Coach Dutcher in his press conference yesterday, alluded to the fact that this has been there's been key calls at the end of games in these close games where fouls have been called and different things. They probably should let them play. And then the Boise-Colorado State game, they didn't call a foul where it looked like Colorado State fouled after they missed a shot, and Boise maybe should have got one chance at the foul line to win the game in regulation, and then Colorado State won it in overtime. When they didn't make a call after we've seen them make two of them against us, so.
Well, you wonder, do you think that this was a situation where Coach wanted to get the technical? Yeah, it wasn't the best of times. They were starting to get some momentum.
Well, because he was still yelling quite a bit after it was all over. He got close to, I think, almost close to his second. Almost
got his second.
Yeah.
But, trying to get the team, you get a little bit of a break. You get the technical. You get in the coaches, the refs here. It's going to slow down the process, maybe get the team fired up. I don't know. It was a tough game for Coach to watch, I'm sure, because they just didn't have the fire. You said you thought they played better than they did against Nevada, which I think they did.
A little. I think there was a little more effort, but again, I think they came to Nevada. They beat them by 29 over there. We played close games. We can handle these guys, and then all of a sudden they go, oh, we're in trouble, and by then it was too late.
It was too late
in the Nevada
game.
But
it goes back to what 5-6-3-4 said. I agree. The conference is good enough that they very well could be a one and done if they don't kind of turn some things around.
Absolutely. And again, what record are they going to have when they go to the tournament to see if they could even play in one of the other tournaments, or do they want to play at that point in one of the other tournaments too? So we'll be back with more post-game. We'd love to have your texts, your phone calls. LSS Insurance is one of our good sponsors. Remember, they handle Medicare better than just anybody. When you're going to turn 65, get with them about 3 months out, get it all planned out, your Medicare coverage. But any insurance, 752-9493 for LSS Insurance, bringing you game day on KVNU.
The new year isn't the only thing we're celebrating here at Alpine Home Medical. This year marks our 25th anniversary, and we could be happier to serve you. Hi, I'm Jay Broadbent. If you haven't shopped with us, we'd love for you to make us your one-stop shop for any of your home medical needs. They're always changing, so please don't hesitate to stop by any of our 10 locations throughout Utah and southern Idaho.
Alpine Home Medical, we bring wellness home.
Or online at alpinehomemedical.com.
Ascent Aesthetics is a premier aesthetic practice. Doctors Benyon, Blotter, and Robinette of Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat are proud to offer you a professional aesthetics team. The Ascent team is passionate about education, best techniques, products, procedures, and services. If you're looking for help with Botox, fillers, microneedling, laser hair removal, medical-grade facials, or skincare, Ascent will help you feel confident, beautiful, and refreshed. See which Ascent service is right for you and learn more at AscentAesthetics.com. That's AscentAesthetics.com.
West Point Dairy Products at Hiram is hiring. West Point Dairy Products has been manufacturing high-quality butter for over 25 years in Cache Valley. They're currently expanding and want you on their growing team. West Point Dairy Products offers competitive wages for entry-level positions starting at $18 per hour, full benefit packages, double time on Sundays, a $2,000 sign-on bonus, and tremendous opportunities for growth. For immediate consideration, call Express Employment Professionals at 435-213-9595.
Hi, this is James Stevens with White Pine Funeral Services. At White Pine, we value compassion, integrity, and service. We are committed to serving you and treating your family as our family. We will be here when you need us most, to listen, to help, and to provide exactly what your circumstances require. At White Pine, we promise to dedicate our time and attention to you and your family. We invite you to come by and meet us. We're confident you'll feel a difference.
Advanced Heating and AC, the gold medal winner in the Best of Northern Utah, is teaming up with Carrier Heating and Cooling. Carrier provides you with the best furnace units available. And now is the best time to buy a new unit before the weather turns Cache Valley cold. Financing options are available. Turn to the experts at Advanced Heating and AC and Carrier. Advanced Heating and Air Conditioning at 752-7272. Stop by at their showroom west of DI. Online, advancedheating-ac.com.
Imagine your wedding day. Elegant, simple, yet stunning, stress-free. It's your day. It's all about you. Whether you're looking for small and simple or have a grander idea, the Riverwoods Conference Center will accommodate your every need. Choose the inside ballroom elegance or outside along the natural decor of the beautiful Logan River. A Riverwoods event planner will work personally with you to make sure your event is exactly how you've envisioned it. The Riverwoods Conference Center, where your happily ever after begins. Google Riverwoods Conference Center or call 750-5151. one.
KVNU Game Day continues with Aggie Call. Your chance to talk about today's game. Call 753-KVNU or 800-369-KVNU.
Hey, it's Al Lewis. It's John Russell. The Aggies lost tonight by 19 points to San Diego State. It was an 8-point halftime game. Just giving you a quick recap on the game. Aggies led early by 10-4. Utah State and San Diego State went back and forth, 6 ties, 5 lead changes, and finally a 12-0 run that happened at about 8 minutes left in the first half, and it went down to around 4 minutes. So it's about 4.5 minutes the Aggies didn't score. Still, they're back within 8. They get it to 6 a couple times early in the second half, and then that big run, as we talked about, by San Diego State, where the Aggies scored 5 points during a stretch of time. The Aztecs got 16, and they run away from the Aggies and win this one by 75-56. And we, of course, have James always join with us after the game to give us his analysis or his questions or whatever. So what have we got tonight, James? What do you think?
Hey, good evening, Al, John. Disappointing loss. I'm just curious to get your opinion. I wonder if the loss after Wyoming took something out of us. They've lost before some tough games, right, earlier on. But it just seemed, I just got the impression after the Wyoming loss, they seemed more down than they did in some of the other losses that they had, close losses that they had. I wonder if that and the number of games in, a short span has just taken a toll on them. But I'm just curious if you saw that from the Wyoming game. Now they lose to Nevada, big margin, lose to San Diego tonight. I just wonder if that Wyoming loss took a little more out of them than they really want to admit.
Well, like I said, I think maybe they hit the wall a little bit in the Nevada game. And, maybe, John, James is onto something here, because that was a road game that it looked like they had a chance to make the plays, and they had the ball at the end, and they didn't even get a shot. It was a bitter pill.
Yeah.
Like I said, that game, we may look back now, and that may be the teetering point of this year of it went the wrong direction the rest of the way.
I don't think it helped. I don't think, James, everything you're saying I agree with. I think it's tough to lose a game that you're not expected to win on the road. It's tough to play that many games in a row. But, let's face it, look at what's going on with Nevada. They're finally healthy. They had their whole line. They didn't have Washington, but they had Sherfield back. So that was big for them. You look at San Diego State, and every year, if you look at them, they get better and better and better as the year wears on. And I think you saw that tonight at home. Guys stepped up. It wasn't just Bradley. And so I think it's a nice little base of horrible things happening all at once. And
but I think the Wyoming game was a bitter one for sure. I think it was hard. Plus that was when everybody was kind of sick too. Anything else, James? The other observation?
Yeah, the other thing I agree with you guys. Our defense, but we're struggling defensively, and what I see is I'll see a couple players step up and really put some pressure on, but I don't see the consistency among all the players. It just seems in order for the defense to really step up, it can't be just one or two players that get in there and give a few minutes and then take a break. It's got to be everybody all at the same time giving their whole. And I know that, don't get me wrong, these guys are out there playing hard, but it just seems, to your point, that defense is really struggling for some reason, and somehow we got to get out of that funk and really put some pressure on with our defense against these guys offensively.
Well, the coach has talked about his defense. Remember his philosophy. You've heard him say, we got to have chests in front. We got to keep our chests in front of guys. They're getting driven around right now a little bit right now, and then there's no help. If you're a team like us that doesn't really have a standout clamp down defender type of guy like Marco Anthony was last year, and like Neemias Queta protects you when everybody runs around somebody. Right. If you don't have that, you're in real trouble.
You
got to have a five-man group that knows. And San Diego State tonight, look how easily they switched when there were screens or whatever, when we're doing that shuffle out front. Then all of a sudden our guys aren't making passes for any purpose because there's no place to go.
Well, we got spoiled with Nemi, and you go back to, I grew up a Georgetown fan, and what made them so great is they had 4 really athletic guys out there that could take care of business, but they could take chances because they knew if they got beat, they
always
Ewing,
had a big center.
Mutombo, Thel Harrington, somebody like that could take care of business. We don't have that.
All right, James, anything else?
No, thank you, guys. Great
Appreciate
show
you
again
calling.
tonight,
We
as
always appreciate you calling in, James. And James tonight brought to you by, again, Cache Valley Bank, who will bring us our final stats. Remember, they're expanding, but their roots are firmly planted here. And we did get this from the coach after the game. Again, they did record something. I guess they're on a time schedule where, again, the coach did comment and talk about the game after the game. So let's listen into Coach Ryan Odom postgame.
Okay, so thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I mean, tonight, obviously, I thought their defense was dynamite. San Diego State, they really bothered us. We were able to score some and keep it tight in the first half going into halftime, but we had too many breakdowns defensively. Scout and report things several times. Bradley catches and doesn't have to dribble and bangs a 3 or 2. Dodged some bullets, quite honestly, in transition defense where they had some open looks that didn't go in, as well, which obviously was concerning for us. And then they ran no different sets than they ran in the first game, and they were able to score and get the ball in tight, and we guarded that much better in Logan, unfortunately. And then, they in the second half, they turned it up even more, all right, defensively, and really bothered us. And, we didn't give ourselves enough space to work with, and we've got to make sure that we do that going forward, because when you're playing a dynamite defense like that, if you don't have enough space to be able to maneuver and get around, and you don't make them guard the whole court, they can bottle you up, which they did.
I read some stuff. They were really upset the first time with the 0 offensive boards, and you kind of knew that would be a focus.
Of course.
And I thought a lot of times just that, some of those second chances were.
Yeah, especially early in that first half, they came in and we actually got some. In the beginning of the second half, our problem was we couldn't string together enough scores and stops. It was trading baskets, all right, at the beginning of that second half, and we couldn't just get it tight. We got it to 6, I think, at one point, and then they were kind of off to the races. They went on a little bit of a run themselves and kind of separated again, and had to call timeout. And I just thought the credit's all to them. They just did a really nice job tonight.
And it doesn't get any easier. I mean, you got to go to Boise now. I mean, you just got to, I guess, just keep plugging along and one game at a time and not worry. Not trying to focus on. Yeah. I mean, we're playing really good teams, in their building, and we've got to play better than we played tonight, to have a chance to win. Boise's one of the top teams in the conference. Obviously, they're right up there, with Wyoming and Colorado State, and now, San Diego State, and. We've got to just get back to practice, get our bodies right. And I thought, from a health standpoint, we were a little bit better tonight, but we're still a little bit disjointed, and we gotta get things corrected. I'll just ask one last,
Yep.
The technical. I mean, I know it didn't. In the grand scheme of things, doesn't mean.
Yeah, there's 2 points. 2 points. Mine, Odom.
What happened though on the?
I was irritated on a blockout. That was it. Yeah, I mean, it's like, I felt like they came over Bean's back on that particular one, and I could have been wrong. And I was just a little heated, and they came over to talk to me, and I made a mistake, and probably should have disengaged at that point. And we were fine after that. I apologized to them, and certainly the refereeing didn't impact the game. San Diego State's team impacted that game in a positive way for their team, and you got to give them the credit. Yeah.
All right, so Sean Harrison down there did get a chance, I guess, somewhere around, not with the Zoom. The Zoom was on, but Kyle was talking on there, but didn't have an opportunity, I guess, to do something real fast. But, again, we did get at least. And the coach talked about why the technical happened. And, again, like I said, it was happening at one end, and he kind of said, well, hold it at the other end.
If you're going to give it to one, give it to the other. And didn't happen. But, he also stepped back and recognized those 2 points didn't make the difference in the game.
I'm grateful that he commented that the refs didn't take it away. They got beat tonight. And San Diego State, I appreciate what James said. He's right that, the struggles on the road, or the multiple games on the road like that, losing a tough one in Wyoming are key. But teams are getting better. And we in turn have to get better.
And against, against Colorado State, we had a chance into the last minute of the game over there, and they're a good team. And we, played some of these. But again, remember, Wyoming and Boise first time around were at home. That Wyoming won on the road. Again, when they had a chance, I think.
It's smart, no doubt.
Smart.
But you've got to, now we're getting ready to face Boise. They're a tough team. They have height. Length, they have athleticism, and let's not forget our good buddy Armouche, who was a force last game. How are they going to turn around and be able to respond to that?
Yep. Aggies lose tonight. Again, we'll see if the text line's got anything, and I believe we're getting something from Justin Bean after the game, too, from San Diego. So final score again, Aggies trail, and the whole game after, they had a 26-23 lead, and then they went on that 12-0 run, and that's where it ended at the end of the first, towards the last 8 minutes of the first half. And so Utah State never never led in the second half. And the Aggies, again, lose to San Diego State. And another loss. That's 8 in a row since we joined the conference at Viejas. Utah State actually came into this game winning 6 of the last 9 against San Diego State after the miserable start we had against them in the league. And Brian Dutcher is now 5-7 against Utah State. I bet there's not many teams in the conference that can say they have that kind of record against Dutcher. 7-5 the Aggies have against him, but still a satisfying win for his team tonight. We'll finish it up on game day when we come back after this on KVNU.
Hey, did you drop the ball on Valentine's Day? If so, I can help you make up for it. This is Jarek from Jarek's Fine Jewelry. No matter where you're at in your relationship, we have something she'll love. Stop in and we'll help you pick her out a thoughtful yet inexpensive necklace, pair of earrings, bracelet, watch, or even if you're ready for the next step, with our selection of over 3,000 designs, we'll find her the perfect engagement ring. Even after Valentine's Day, it's all about the romance. Make it special, make it Jarek's.
We're talking with Jeff at Daryl's Appliance. Why does Northern Utah choose Daryl's when they need to repair their appliances?
Our customers trust us to get the job done right. We have been repairing appliances for over 52 years. We also have our Under One Roof loyalty program where we discount the trip charge when you decide to buy new instead of the repair. Plus, our service calls and parts are guaranteed. Daryl's West on Airport Road, open till 6 p.m. on weekdays and 5 on Saturdays.
Hi, this is Ashley with LSS Insurance. Are you getting ready to retire but your spouse isn't 65 yet? We can help. We focus on health insurance so we can provide you the best possible service and information. Come the third Thursday, February 17th at 7 p.m. to our free seminar. We'll empower you with the information you need to make confident decisions. Come see us at LSS Insurance the third Thursday, February 17th at 7 p.m. Call 752-9493 to RSVP as seating is limited.
Cold weather is here. Let the gold medal winner in the Best of Northern Utah's fireplace category help you update your home with Napoleon's full line of gas or wood-burning products. Building a new home? Let the professionals at Advanced Fireplace and Stove design and install your fireplace. From traditional to modern, Napoleon has something for every design and every budget. Install a product that will allow your family to make memories for years to come. Stop by at their showroom or visit them at advancedfireplaceandstove.com.
This is Dave Simmons for Les Olson Company. Imagine the other team has an ace in their starting lineup. He's fast, relentless, and his field goal percentage is 73%. What's your team's defensive strategy against a player like that? Well, that player is ransomware. And in 2020, 73% of ransomware attackers succeeded in holding their victims' data hostage. Don't take risks. Take action with the Les Olson Security Suite. Get your free network assessment at lesolson.com.
Let's see, got to turn on the microphone there. And it's Al Lewis, John Russell here. Appreciate you joining with us again. Appreciate Kyle Cottom getting us some stuff. We're going to have Justin Bean here in a moment or two. 75-56 if you're just tuning in. So the Aztecs outscored the Aggies to 22 in the second half. And the Aggies did not shoot as well as they did in the first half. But again, it was a run that happened and did stop with the Ryan Odom technical to make it a 12-0 run on the Aggies. And then Utah State tried to fight back and make it a little bit interesting towards the end of the half, and still were down by 8. But after that run, the closest the Aggies were was 6 points. Once in the first half and twice in the second half, and that's it.
Well, they did a good job making sure the Aggies didn't get too much momentum. Even to get those 6-point deficits, they weren't big runs that got them to that point. They'd only give up a couple of buckets.
We never got any runs of more than, I think, 2 baskets in a row in this game. 75-66, New Mexico beat Wyoming tonight. It's a close game, and Jalen House ended up with 34 points. He made 4 free throws in the last 30 seconds of the game, and then made a 3-pointer before that, I think it was, or passed for a 3 to a Tovar in the last minute, the guy who transferred from Salt Lake Community College. Yeah. So that's a big win for New Mexico. They've won 3 in a row now, down at the bottom of the league, and we saw how scary they were. It was an overtime win for the Aggies down there. They played a close game in Laramie. Then they got them there, and they beat Wyoming tonight to hand in their second loss. What about the San Jose, Nevada?
The Wyoming game, it just surprises me because they've handled the tight game so well.
They have.
You thought they would have pulled it off.
And I think they probably thought going to the last minute. They brought it back to like 2, I think, or 3, and they probably thought going to the last minute, okay, we've been here before.
We're where we need to be, and took care of business. San Jose, who's really struggling this year in conference, they're 0-12. They're actually giving Nevada quite a battle in Reno. About 7 minutes left. It's 62-61. Spartans over the Wolfpack. And, you look at, just before the break, I was talking about those teams were playing well. But Sherfield and Cambridge combined, they're 11 for 28. They're struggling for the fields. And so how come they go off on the Aggies and then struggle against San Jose?
I mean, because, Cambridge made a couple of tough shots for sure in the game here in Logan.
Well, Blackshear, who just filled the stat sheet, he's pretty much non-existent. 3 points, 4 boards, and 3 assists. But, one of the other things we've got to constantly remember is that we are a team people circle on the roster when they're in the schedule. When the schedule comes out, you're excited to go to Vegas, but we beat up on a lot of people the last couple of years.
Yeah, and that's why we're getting it. Yeah, they come back at us. They want to get us badly.
Revenge is sweet.
Yep. Dave wants to join with us on our Aggie Call postgame, 753 KVNU. What's up, Dave?
Yeah, hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call. So when we had that run of games where we were just winning and life was great and we were all super happy, it just seemed like every phase of the game was going great, and especially today on offense, and I have a hard time figuring out. Is it because the San Diego defense was so good that we were just ending up having to take crappy shots?
Well, they're number 2 in the nation.
Or were we just taking crappy shots?
They are number 2 defense in the nation. They do this to just about everybody on the thing. And when we're talking about the run of wins we got, we shoot against, starting with the San Diego State game, 49, 50, 62, 46, 64% during the 5-game win streak. And what did the opponents shoot during that period of time? San Diego was 49, but Nevada was 31, Air Force was 36, San Jose was 46. Again, the threes helped them. And then UNLV back to 48. But on the rebound side, we won all those games 14 plus 10 plus 20 plus 9 plus 4. And we also weren't turning over the basketball a horrendous amount of times, except against Air Force in that whole period of time. And now you look at the stats in this game tonight, and the Aggies get out-rebounded by 3. They shoot 40%. San Diego State, not a great shooting team, shoots 52. You're right, Dave. All of the phases were working, and that's what has to happen for this team. And when the defense slips, like it has a little bit, and made it harder, we have to score almost every time to have a chance to stay in these games, just can't do it.
Yeah, so you're the stat master there. What was our turnovers today?
And we had 15 turnovers.
There was one point where it was like 10. We had 10, and they had 4, I think, or something.
But they had 4 in about the first 5 minutes of the first half, and they only had 4 more the rest of the game. Yeah. And that was where we had points off of turnovers ahead of them early in that part of the game. That was the only way we were getting anything done. And then all of a sudden, we hadn't turned it over at all, and we had 5 turnovers in about a 4-minute span during the 12-0 run, when we had 1 up until then.
You know, Dave, you called Al the stat master, and he is the stat master.
No.
But I also look back. We talked about the loss to Wyoming, what kind of effect that had. But what kind of effect going to when I say San Diego State basketball, what do you think? You think
I've been there
defense?
enough. I've been there enough to know. You watched the game against the Aztecs when we, whatever team we've had go in there, you feel like, hey, it's hard to get a shot.
Mm-hmm.
And you could see that tonight.
And
it's hard to get a good shot. That's the way San Diego State plays at home. And I mean, Boise beat them 42-37. So what they had to do there was make it hard for them to make shots. And Boise and San Diego State, Fresno State are the real great defensive teams in our league so far this year.
Yeah. Well, so I can see, and going back to, I think his name was Jim or James, who I called earlier, you can see how there's a mental toll that takes place when you lose these games like this. And I would just imagine that today, just really getting beat up on defense like that, and your defense being pretty sloppy, there's just got to be a real mental fatigue toll going on here.
We're going to have to ask the coach about that. Yeah, when we get back before they play Boise, we'll have to ask him what he feels like. Is it the result of a 13-point loss and a 19-point loss worse than losing close games to the team mentally?
Well, especially after it looked like you had rounded the corner and things were clicking, the program was working, all this stuff you've been working on, all these close games, and now all of a sudden it's like it's clicking and we're on fire and this is awesome, and then it just kind of collapses. I mean, that's tough. That's tough. I hope they can pick it up. I hope they can pick it up for the Colorado State game because we'll be there for senior night.
Yep, that's right. That's right. Yep, that's right. Well, thanks, Dave, for calling in. Appreciate it very much. Again, because senior night, I mean, technically, everybody on this team could come back and play except for Horvath. But I would imagine that it'll be a senior night, and it might be, Bean and Miller to go along with Horvath for sure, with, where they're at and being married and moving on in their lives. And Miller actually has practiced just a little bit the last couple of games, a couple of days that I've seen practice, trying to do a little. We'll see if he can come back. We do have, we'll check the text in just a moment here. Again, the text line's available, but I want to get in. Justin Bean had a short comment or two after the game, if I can find it here. And this is what he had to say. Here's Justin Bean.
Yeah, that was a lot closer game the first half, for sure. The game got away from us towards the end of the first half, and then they came out swinging in the second. A lot of offensive rebounds. I think they had 11 today. 0 the first time we played them, and obviously that, it's, a lot of it's due to the fact they're at home, they're comfortable, they were hungry. But at the end of the day, we just kind of took the punches and didn't give them back and didn't take them with force. And so we have to go back to the drawing board and just got to be tougher, but also we need to do a better job just playing team defense. I think they were on track to score in the 80s after the first half, so we just have to do a better job knowing who has the ball and who their scorers are and who we can help off of, and then just closing the possession out by getting rebounds.
So there is the comments from Justin Bean after the game that got sent to us from Kyle Cotton, brought to you by White Pine Funeral Services. Remember, families from all walks of life. Again, White Pine Funeral Services has years of experience. You can expect compassionate care, high integrity, excellent service, and a beautiful facility providing families with, again, a memorable experience in a really tough family situation for a lot of folks. So
I love the analogy. We, took the punches but didn't have any to give back. San Diego State took control of the game. It's what we didn't allow to happen when we beat them here in Logan. We played our game. They didn't shoot the ball well. We put the pressure on them. Tonight, they put the pressure on us.
And it was close, and then we go on the 13-2. And you don't do that very often to San Diego State, as you can see with the way they play defense. And tonight we couldn't put anything on them, and they put it on us a couple of times with pretty good runs.
Big difference for those that have played ball. I mean, do you play on the balls of your feet or do you play on your heels? And tonight, Aggies played on their heels.
Especially when they started to get behind again and all of that. We just had not seen that from this team very rarely this season. And what is it now? 4 losses this year that have been in double digits, right? Iowa, BYU, Nevada, San Diego State.
Yeah.
And the rest are all close losses, but now 15-12 is the overall record tonight. Again, you can say, well, it's a loss to a team in the top 50, but again, here's another chance where you have a chance to beat somebody in the top 50, and you beat them when they were there earlier, and you didn't get it done this time.
It doesn't matter where you're ranked. Losses are losses at this point. We can't afford anymore.
Yep. All right. Anything else, John?
Nope. Appreciate all the comments.
What's the San Diego,
San
Jose, Nevada's game?
Nevada's, it looks like they're going to pull this out. About 3 minutes left. They're up 71-68 over the Spartans.
Okay. Final stats for Cache Valley Bank as we finish it up here on game day on Tuesday night. Aggies lose 75-56. Bearstone 9, 4 of 7, 2 rebounds in his 33 minutes. Ashworth only 5 against them. Remember, Coach before the game, Coach Dutcher says we ought to have Ashworth awareness after he's had 2 17-point games against him before. He was 2 of 8, 1 of 4 from 3, 4 rebounds, 4 assists for his 5 points. Horvath had 10, 3 of 10, 1 of 5 from 3, 3 of 4 free throws, 4 rebounds, and an assist. And, of course, he's been getting a bunch of assists lately. Idle Rock just 2 of 7, 1 of 4 from 3, had a rebound, played 21 minutes. Bean had 18, 7 of 14, 1 of 3 from 3, 3 of 4 free throws, 8 rebounds, 4 assists for Justin Bean tonight. Shulga had just 2 points, 2 free throws, missed a three-pointer in the game and had a rebound. Zapala, 2 points on that 1 rebound basket, I think is what it was, as I remember. And then Jones had 5 points in his 22 minutes, 2 of 4 shooting, 1 of 1 from 3. He had 4 rebounds and 5 assists. And Dorius, the 2 fouls he had. The Aggies shoot 40%. They only shoot 5 of 18 from 3. So another bad three-point shooting game, 2 in a row, starting to go below that 30% mark for shooting threes. They go 9 of 12 at the foul line. Not many free fouls called in this game. San Diego State was 8 for 11 at the foul line, but get out-rebounded by 3. They get 14 assists, 21 baskets. San Diego State gets 19 assists on 30 baskets tonight. And the Aggies had 15 turnovers, and the Aztecs only had 8. Johnson, 2 monster dunks, 5 of 6, 4 of 4 free throws, 4 rebounds, 19 minutes and 14 points. Pulliam had 2 points, 1 of 6. They took away his 3 there at the end of the game. He had 2 rebounds and 3 assists. Butler had 2 points, 1 of 6, 0 of 2 from 3, and 1 rebound, 4 assists. And Mensah had 8 points and 4 of 7 with 8 rebounds. But look at what their bench did. Seiko, 11, 4 out of 5 shooting. Baker Mazzara, who really is a hot dog and a tough guy to handle. I don't like him. He's got the kind of personality that just really grates on you. But again, he can score. 3 out of 6. He had 2 rebounds, 2 assists. Diamante did not score. Tomaix had 2 points on a rebound basket, and Aropa had 8 with 5 boards. They shot 52%, 7 of 14 from 3, 8 of 11 from the foul line. That's your final stats for the branches in Smithfield, North Logan, front of the mall, downtown Logan, Hiram. It is Cache Valley Bank with our post-game coverage of the Aggies. We'll be back on Saturday for game day. We'll be on at 3 for a 4 o'clock game. It'll be on CBS Sports Network again when Utah State plays Boise State. And again, the Broncos will play tomorrow at Air Force on the schedule. And UNLV's at Fresno tomorrow. And again, if you missed it, Wyoming 75, Wyoming 66, Nevada leading San Jose, and the Aggies again 75-56 losers to San Diego State tonight. So for John Russell and sponsors, that's it.